You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Challenge us at Wexford Insurances 0818 31 30 30.
My first guest this morning is Paul Jacob from Smart Storage. Paul, you might start by telling me a bit about your own background, please.
I'm originally from Waterford and I now live in Greystones in Wicklow. I am a construction manager and engineer by profession, and I've worked in the construction industry in some form or fashion all my life. I would have started off working on a lot of heavy civil engineering projects, motorways, the M50, Mullingar bypass, stuff like that over the years. And then I spent a period of time working in the waste industry and the demolition industry, and I was involved with Green Star at a very early stage when the business was only starting out, and I managed a lot of their waste infrastructure around the country. And then in 2003, I decided that I actually wanted to run my own business, and I made the leap of faith of leaving Green Star, and I set up my own construction company, which we ran for up until 2010. Like everyone else, we suffered in the downturn. From there then, I kind of had to look at what else I was going to do, and I had this idea for the smart storage unit. And so I looked at developing that side of the business up then.
So where did the idea come from for smart storage?
Like everybody else, I live in a 3-bed semi-detached house. We have no storage space in the house. And it was one wet, dreary Sunday afternoon. And I took the job on of cleaning out the understairs area of the stairs. After hitting my head off a couple of times, I decided actually there must be a better way of doing this. So I actually sat down and I sketched it up and drew this up and came up with a design for a unit. And what I wanted is I wanted an understairs storage unit that would carry everything that we need on a day-to-day basis, but I wanted it to be discreet so that when I walked in the hallway I didn't know it was there until I actually opened it out. So I designed the first unit up and we installed it in our own house. We got a little bit of feedback from it, and then I kind of thought, well, there might be something in this. So then we modularized it and developed it up from there, and ended up now in a situation where we are today with a number of sort of 5 installations every single day going on in Ireland at the moment.
I know that the product itself is quite simple in its own nature. What have you done to protect the product from being copied?
The unit that we have at this stage is a modular design. We own the design, so we've got design registration on it, we've got trademark and so on. So we've got it pretty much pretty well protected from an intellectual property right with it as well. So, but in addition to that, I think what's very important is about developing the brand awareness and developing the association that people are comfortable and happy to purchase smart storage because they understand that it's good, it's reliable, it works, it's what their neighbours have, it's what their friends have, and they want to buy it.
People may recall that you were on the Dragons Den earlier this year, and I know some of the Dragons actually fought against each other in order to invest in the business. I know you ended up going with Nora. Tell me a bit about that experience. Dragons
Den, I suppose for me, started about a year ago. A lot of customers along the way always said to us that this is a great idea. I think you should go on Dragon's Den with it. So I kind of eventually took the lead from it, and I put in an application form last October. I got called, had a meeting with them, a bit of a pitch to them, and then there was a bit of a second pitch to them. And just before Christmas last year, they rang and said, look, you're in, and that we're going to film towards the end of January. Then you kind of have to prepare for it, and it's a bit of a nerve-wracking experience. It's kind of like, I suppose, it must be kind of like what it's like playing an All-Ireland final or something. It's your one chance to get it. You got to go in. It's a pitch that you can't stop at any point. It's whatever happens, happens. So you got to go in and prepare for it and run through it all. But for us, it worked out quite well. We were in for about an hour and 45 minutes, I think. And we ended up with Nora fighting with Bobby and with Sean Sullivan, the new dragon, on it. And we got Nora in the end, so we're delighted with that.
Tell me, why did you choose Nora?
Nora would have been a target going in for us. Our product is a female product. We have a Facebook page with 4,500 fans on it. 80% of them are women. Women rule the house. They need this whole element of order and within the house. Nora Casey is the CEO of the largest magazine group in the country, publishing stuff like Tatler, and so she has the route to market for us. So therefore, we kind of targeted that, and it worked for us in the end. So we've got a shareholder on board now at this stage who has very good access to our market.
And what input has Nora Casey had with your business business since you secured her investment?
Apart from the financial aspect, which has been great, Nora's also brought the sort of the whole marketing aspect to it. She has a very good overview of how and strategy of how you run the marketing. Also, I suppose it's helped to put a good structure on the business, because we would have had to do a full due diligence for Nora post Dragon's Den, of where they sit down and they want to go through and make sure that everything that you actually told them was correct. So in doing that, you actually have to put a structure on the business, and it gets you organised into it. So it's made the business a lot stronger from that point. It also gives us a good sounding block to work off of, because you're able to run ideas by somebody who's not on a day-to-day basis running the business, so they're able to look at stuff more objectively sometimes probably than we are.
Tell me about the current business model.
When we started the business originally, we would have worked on the basis that we would have a team of installers around the country and that we would do supply and installation. The way the business is now moving is because of the rapid growth that we're getting out there. What we're doing is we're actually partnering with a lot of companies around the country who already have an installation aspect to the business, and that we are working with them so that we're adding smart storage to the portfolio of work that they have. So we're selling to them, and then they're able to install in the area. They're becoming approved installers for the smart storage unit, and that way then we're able to get out into the regions a lot better. And also what it means is that from the local concept, that the local market knows then that, look, I can go to Mr. X and he can supply me with this in the region on it. And people are happier. People like buying local as well.
Have you considered franchising as an option?
We have considered franchising, but I think franchising is a bit further down the road, because I think smart storage itself has to justify its existence to a lot of these partners that we're working with. So at some point in the future, I think we can move to a franchise model if we decide to go that way. But in the present model, we need to be able to justify that it works. We know it works, but like that, they're not going to take our word for it. We got to prove that the market is there and how we feed it.
And how important is product development in relation to your own business?
Product development is very important for us. We have developed a very unique, innovative, and it's a product that people like at the moment. It provides them with a storage solution to every domestic house. It's got a window of opportunity at the moment that we have to fulfill, but we have to feed the market with additional products out there, because we can't just be a one-trick pony on it. So at the moment we've developed an attic storage line, which is similar to the understairs but works into the eaves of the attic. We've also got a couple of other products that we're looking at, not just for the domestic market, the domestic house market, but we're also looking at the apartment market. We're also looking at some commercial solutions as well. And
since the Dragon's Den, have you seen much competition rising its head over the last number of months to take you on?
Yeah, you're always going to see sort of competition coming in, and it's good because it keeps you on your toes with it. I think the important thing for us is you got to concentrate on your own business, and you got to make sure that your own products they work right. You also got to make sure that you're supplying your customer with what they want, not trying to sell them something that you want to sell them. It's very important when you're running your own business to just concentrate on the positive aspects that you have. Be aware of your threats, but concentrate on the positive aspects and work on it. Otherwise, a lot of times you just stop.
What do you see to be your main threats in the future?
The main threats for us in the future will be, number one, is if we don't actually develop a product line that's wider out than what we have, then, as I said, we become that one-trick pony. Secondly, we need to find proper partnerships around the country, which is what we're working on, so that we are able to distribute it out into the areas. If we don't distribute it out into the areas, other people will come into it at that stage. Thirdly, we need to keep innovating the design so that we stay ahead of where other people will start to come in. If people do come in, the concept that's going to work on is they're going to try and copy the last thing you did in there. What you want to be doing is thinking of the next thing and working ahead on that, so you're always ahead of the curve. I always work on the basis that if you aim for perfection, accept you'll never get there, but as long as you keep aiming for it, then you're going to push your standards higher each time, and you'll start getting stuff better. And that's what we keep trying to do.
When do you expect to have nationwide coverage in place?
We're nationwide in the Republic at the moment. We've just closed a deal for someone for Northern Ireland to install, so they're going to start training up there, and they're going to be covering that area, which will basically mean then that from Donegal to Kerry, Wexford, back up to the north, we will have the whole country covered with installers. The step we're working on at the moment now is the UK market and developing into there. That is the real big market for us.
What are you doing in order to protect the quality assurance of the product range?
At the moment, we train all of our installers. We've been doing this for the last 2 years. So we know exactly what the customer is looking for. We know exactly how to deal with the customer from the initial point of sale right through to the completion of it. So we are bringing that back to the point of where we've got a lessons learned database, and we're working through with our guys, our new guys on that. We're training them up, and then we're going out and we're inspecting the work. Within that, what we've also done is that in the design of the modular units that we have now, is we have designed probably the majority of the problems that you encounter on a day-to-day basis. We've designed them out of the units so that the installer's job is just to install. They don't have to work around problems anymore.
So what's your plan for the next 3 years for smart storage?
The next plan is to basically do exactly what we've done in Ireland, to take it to the UK. UK is 15 times bigger than Ireland from a market perspective. There's 700,000 semi-detached houses in Ireland, which is where smart storage is targeting. In the UK, there's 10.4 million houses. So it's now a case of growing and getting it working over there. We've started over there, and we've started to get traction in there. We're aiming on the large urban areas. So we've got an installer lined up for the Greater London area who's got a number of installers himself to go in. So it's a reasonably large company that we're dealing with. And we've got another one lined up for Birmingham. And we will grow it out into those urban areas from there.
One final question before we finish. Is smart storage a business that you're building to keep or building to sell?
I suppose when you start every business, you have to decide what your exit plan is. I'd love to be able to say that, yes, I'm going to sell it in a couple of years' time for millions, hopefully. But the reality is that I have to work it until we get it to a point of where it is of value to somebody. Our intention is to grow it out through Ireland, grow it out through the UK, start our foot into Europe, and put our toe into America. With that, at that stage, then I think we're going to need to partner with somebody bigger in order to try and cover those markets. Hopefully there'll be somebody of interest out there.
Well, Paul, we'll have to leave it there. Many thanks for coming in this morning, and I wish you continued success with smart storage.
Welcome back to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances, #1 for business insurance in County Wexford.